everybody, we're back.
Hello.
I'm Ginger.
I'm Dee.
And this is Chattin with CHAP. It's Wednesday again.
It is. How does that happen?
I don't know.
I feel like, okay, we were just here.
Yeah. Oh, and you know what? Guess what happens on Monday?
It's
our birthday!
Can you believe the two Chattin with CHAP girls share the same birthday?
And we each have a daughter that shares a birthday too. And that's in a week and a half. So
Ginger's a little younger than I am.
Oh, just a smidge. Give me a break.
We are both going to celebrate.
We are going to celebrate.
Maybe I'll have to have balloons or cake for next week.
Oh, that would be really funny. We'll have a little party on Chattin.
It's our birthday.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So
announcements. Oh my.
Yeah.
Well,
okay. There's so much going on. I'm just going to tell you, we're like swirling here. CHAP is swirling right now. There's so many things going on in homeschool land.
Yeah.
So
that's right. If you haven't heard, I don't know where you've been, but convention was canceled for August, and our hearts are saddened by that, but we know that there's a plan in it all, and so we're moving forward and we're pivoting because that's all you can do when things happen like this. So please be on the lookout because you're going to see some webinars coming up and some live things via the intranet, some events, and we're excited about that, and more about that will be coming out in the next week, and we'll have more to share next week on Chattin with CHAP. But yeah, we're moving forward, and we're looking forward to next June 4th and 5th 2021. That's convention, and we're praying it happens. So
yeah, and not only that, we are also getting together. It's called Start Strong Pennsylvania. It's Homeschool University, and that will be coming out soon, so keep your eye out for our cool advertisements and stuff about that, but it's all about homeschool. There's day one is all Pennsylvania specific, tells you everything about it, and then it goes through all these wonderful aspects of homeschooling, just so you're well educated. And I went through it, and it was even good for me. I've been homeschooling for 13 years, and it was good for me to go through. So it's great for anybody.
Yeah, and I encourage you for the webinars that are coming up. Jump on them, because don't ever think that, oh, I already know that information, because things are constantly changing, and also we can always learn things, and there's always things that we can hear and think, oh, I forgot about that, or I need to do that, or whatever. So yeah, we're here to support you, and we're excited about these things we have in the works.
Yeah. It's cool.
Yeah, it is cool. Really cool. It is cool. I mean, I was sad. I was really sad about convention, but we're just gonna move forward. Yeah, exactly. So Support.
We all need support, right? Okay, so as you probably know, there's so many people asking questions about homeschooling. I mean, so many of my homeschool friends are saying, all these people are asking me about homeschooling, so I'm trying to supply some things for them to share. But one of the things that Dee and I talk about, which has been so hit during all of this, is connection.
Yes.
Being with others and being supported. And because just life in general is a challenging journey, and we need to do it together, and homeschooling is no different. I mean, homeschooling, you need support from those who have gone before and those who are in the trenches with you right where you are. And so what do you do for that? What are ways that you can get support?
The thing about that is there are lots of different ways that you can do that, and it's very different. I mean, I've been involved when I started homeschooling 20 years ago. I was involved in a couple of different things. First, there was a support group that met of just moms. It was called West Lenco, I think. It was just people in my local area. There was also a mom's night at Bonnie Griner's house. If anybody knows Bonnie Griner, she was one of our speakers, but she did a mom's night once a month, and so that was like a support. But then I got involved in a co-op right away also. So let's talk about what some of these different things are. Like, what is a support group? What is a co-op? What's the difference?
Well, generally support groups, I mean, they can be in person, like Dee was saying, you met up and it was just moms at Bonnie's house or whatever. Or a support group could be, hey, let's get together and go on a field trip, or let's get together and paint, or let's just get together and have the kids play so we can have some mom sanity time. But support groups can also be on Facebook.
Yeah. That's right.
I mean, how many have you seen?
That's right.
Oodles.
I'm in oodles of.
There are so many.
I'm in oodles of homeschool support.
Yeah.
For our groups. Yeah.
There are bajillions, and I'm in a bunch, but I'm not even. I know there's a bunch in Pittsburgh. I'm not. Didn't jump in those because I had some other folks who are in there sharing
Yeah.
stuff. But it's mind-boggling. So there's and different types too. There's lots of like there's special needs support groups and stuff like that. All
Can be
different.
very specified.
It can be very specified. So
But co-op's a little different. Typically, co-ops are going to provide, they provide classes, they provide enrichment, academic support.
yeah. So our early co-op, it definitely had more of a feeling of enrichment. People were there to connect, to be together, to offer some stuff that you might not want to do at home, like gym class or a play or science or cooking or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how early on I joined a co-op, and it was a lot of, my children were young, and it was that as they got older, I actually signed them up for a co-op. This was crazy. This co-op would fill up so fast that you would actually get in line. Moms would get in line at 5 a.m. on sign-up day. Crazy! I'm telling you, brought lawn chairs. This is crazy. But
it's like
it was
Thanksgiving.
yeah, it was. But it was an opportunity. They had paid teachers, so it was an opportunity for my kids to take some classes that I was not comfortable doing at home. You know, it was the chemistry and the algebra and things like that. They also had a choir, and so it was really popular. So we did that. Then we landed up at the co-op that we're in now, which you and I are both in. And it's a little bit of everything because there's something for younger children. It's a little more laid back.
Enrichment.
Yeah, but we do have classes for high schoolers, and so
Yeah, our junior and senior high, I mean, they count, like you said, does this count for the transcript? They totally do.
Yeah.
So the senior high end, the older you get, the more academic it gets in our particular co-op. It's still moms teaching. We have one very faithful mom who's Ethan graduated, he graduated college
And
2 or 3
she's
years
still
ago, and she's
teaching.
still teaching because
Gosh,
she's amazing.
Awesome. She's awesome.
She teaches
Yeah.
English, but yeah, it's still moms sharing their gifts and talents with each other, and that's our co-op. But there's other co-ops, like you said, with paid certified teachers or those types of situations.
Yeah, so
they're
that
very
co-op,
different.
that co-op was very different. We would sign up for classes, and then you had to sign up to volunteer. They needed class monitors
Yeah.
and things, so I didn't have to do any teaching. This co-op we're in currently, you do commit to teach a class and help with the class, and then you get an hour off, which is awesome to sit with the moms.
Mom's room.
I always offered to be the mom's room monitor, but they didn't.
We never took her up on
They
that.
didn't give me
no.
that position, but so that's a little different. The thing about co-ops is they are phenomenal, and if you're thinking about homeschooling, sign-ups are now, and many co-ops may be full. So don't get discouraged, though. I mean, I'm not saying that to discourage you, but if you are new to homeschooling and you want to be a part of a co-op,
You're thinking about it. You're going to want to get moving
check them
on
out.
it.
Yeah,
Because I think my sister-in-laws, they close in April, their registration.
but you know what you could do? Start your own.
You could totally start
Yeah.
your own, and that's the main topic that we're going to discuss today is how on earth do you start your own? What do you do? And I think, the one that we attend, a lot of them just start as a few families saying, hey, we want to get together and let's do stuff.
Yeah.
Let's do something.
Yeah, let's go on a field trip. Or, you have a friend who is really just creative and artistic, and you say, okay, let's get together and I'll do this with the kids if you could teach art, or you just swap ideas and what are you good at and what things can you share? So,
It starts really easy like that. So obviously that's something you just do in your house or at a park or wherever it is that you choose to do.
It's almost like a play date. Like,
it is.
We're getting together with a couple other families today,
With
and
a point.
there's going to be art, and there's going to be gym, and maybe there'll be something. Science was always another good one. It's great to do with a group of kids, especially if there's experiments and things like that.
Oh yeah, messy stuff. Mount Vesuvius.
Yeah.
The other thing, I did talk with some ladies at the convention. They wanted some guidance on how to get a co-op started, and this was going to be like open to a number of families, large co-op type of a thing. So I had been on the steering team of the co-op that we attend. So part of our steering team, and it's the leadership group, as we call it, steering. And the different types of jobs that are on there, there's someone who communicates out to the people. There's a person who takes care of setup, people that take care of tear down, people who take care of registration, creating the schedules, the finances, the sick leave. If someone's on vacation or is sick, there's someone else. There's all these little different bits and pieces, and that just evolved out of the functionality of our group over years and years.
And because it got larger.
It did get larger.
It got larger, and you needed to have that structure
when you have a larger group. So in a larger group like that, you not only need to have a few people who are going to lead it, but you need to think about some things like health policies, like, when is it okay to come and when is it not okay to come, or discipline issues. How are you going to handle discipline? And that's not only with children, but it's sometimes between moms.
Yeah.
And that gets hard. But, in ours, it is faith-based. It's a Christian group, and we have a statement of faith that you need to sign. So then the way we handle discipline and conflict resolution is biblical, and we go, so we follow biblical principles when doing that sort of thing. The ladies that I was helping, they were like, we don't want it to be religious based, so we wanted it to be open and everyone, and that's fabulous. And they needed to come up with how they were going to handle their issues, because everyone's going to have issues, it's come up that way. So there's other things too, like how long of a day, like ours is 3 classes. It's just the morning. But my sister-in-law goes to one that's 6 classes. It's all day, and they have a lunch period. Hi, Sharon. So then that's obviously, it's larger. It's larger. It's like double the size of ours. But there's a lot more to manage in that.
Yeah.
They're steering as more like a president, vice president kind of a situation, because they needed that structure because
it's so large. Yeah. So, you just have to decide, how long is your day going to be? Is it going to be just in the morning? Is it going to be all day? Are you going to meet once a week? And how many weeks per year?
What's your schedule?
Yeah, what's your schedule? Because the co-op we're currently in ends at Thanksgiving and it resumes after New Year. But I had been in one that was really only, I think, 8 weeks or something like that in the fall, and 8 in the spring. So it was a lot.
We did 10 and 10 in my first one.
Yeah, it's a lot shorter.
Yeah.
So you have to decide, how long do you want your day to be? What do you want it to look like?
Yeah. So a lot of things to think about if you want to start a group. However, starting small. Start small if you just want to do something.
Yeah. Well, and I encourage you to do something, because we weren't meant, we've talked about this before
so many times.
We were not meant to do this alone. We weren't. We were created for community. And so this homeschooling journey that God calls us on is not always an easy one. In fact, most days are not
pretty challenging.
Easy. So when you come together with like-minded people, that time in the mom's room, that hour, just to be able to share, to be able to pray with one another, just to be able to laugh together, to get the shot in the arm you need to make it through another week. And the mom's night I used to go to at Bonnie Griner's house, I told this story before, I would walk in once a month, almost to tears, saying, I don't want to do this anymore. She would encourage me, tell me how I could try to do different things and do things differently and do this with this child or do that. And she had so much wisdom. And I would leave and say, I can do this. You're right, I can do this. And so I encourage you, if you are homeschooling, to really think about being involved in some type of community. It doesn't maybe necessarily have to be, a stringent academic community, but maybe
some kind of support, something.
Yeah.
Or if it's just some moms going out sneaking out, because that's what you have to do. If you'd go to the coffee house and talk, whatever, some kind of support, some kind of connection with somebody.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so we had a question come in yesterday, I think, about co-ops and how should they handle reopening with all of the mandates and stuff that's going on, and what was CHAP's position on that. So, how should co-ops handle reopening? I was reading this morning, I saw that there's a number of co-ops who've already decided to go online because of what's going on. Ours personally has not made a decision, and I think some of that really depends on where you're meeting. And what their rules are going to be.
That's right. Depending on the venue you're using, you have to follow their rules. Yeah.
But I did get in touch with Dan at HSLDA, and he said they have been talking to a number of co-op leaders already about this very thing. And what they've been doing really is suggesting that you get in touch with a local lawyer who is familiar with what's going on right where you're living. We, unfortunately, CHAP, we don't have a list of like homeschool friendly lawyers. So honestly, if there's anybody out there who knows for your particular area or whatever, you want to comment here and let us know some lawyers who are pro homeschool that will help answer some of these tricky questions. But kind of what Dan said is really everyone's going to say it depends, which is, again, a really frustrating part of what is going on, because no one really seems to know what's going on. Yeah. So whether or not you have to abide by this rule or that rule or this, whatever, are you a school? Are you a church ministry? Are you a nothing? You're just a group of people. It's all individual.
Yeah, it is.
So really,
it's
CHAP,
a little tricky. Yeah,
it really is tricky. So CHAP as an organization is not going to say, well, you should abide by all the things, and we're not going to say, oh my goodness, just do whatever you want. We're not going to do that because it's honestly it is going to be different depending on your locale.
Yes.
So if you want to contact HSLDA and see what they say, or ask around about lawyers who are homeschool friendly, and get talking to a local lawyer. If
and like we
that way.
Already said, it's also going to depend on where you're meeting. I mean, you're going to have to figure out, okay, these are the guidelines they're giving. These are what they want us to follow. What do we want to do? Do we want to still meet and follow that, or do we want to go online, or do we want to just not be in a venue and meet in each other's houses? Yeah, I mean, it's gonna vary. This is new.
And everybody's landing somewhere different, and we all definitely have our
right. I mean, this has not happened previously for co-ops, so
it's
you're gonna have to figure it out, and
it is going to be a figure it out kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably what we can give you on that. Sorry that it's not more.
But on the flip side, if you are new and you do have questions about co-ops support groups, we do have on CHAP a list.
We do. We have a search.
So if you're looking for one, although, like I said, you'll have to contact them, see if they're still open, and see what's going on, and see if they're meeting, and da-da-da-da.
And all this other
But
stuff.
we do have it on chaponline.com where you can find a list.
Yes.
So,
Yes, indeed.
So is that
I
did we cover it? If you have any questions, drop them in the comments. But we just, like I said, encourage you, get connected. Don't be out there on an island alone.
No Lone Ranger.
No Lone Ranger.
Episodes of Lone Ranger a long time ago if you want to check them out.
Yeah. And we will be back next week with, we're not 100% sure what, but we got a lot of things
we got
brewing.
so many things.
We have things brewing.
We do. We have so many things to tell you about. We just have to pick which one we want to talk about next week.
Yeah. So we'll see you next Wednesday.
Okay.
And we'll each be a little older.
Smidge.
Just
a smidge.
Well, this has been
Chat with CHAP.
See you next week.